They say your mind is your own, but what if it isn't? What if the thoughts you believe are yours were carefully planted there by someone else? Every day, without realizing, you're being nudged, guided, and sometimes controlled. It could be through a sweet smile, a carefully chosen word, or even a painful silence. The scariest part? Most people never notice it happening until it's too late. Manipulation doesn't always scream. It whispers. It doesn't look like a threat. It feels like love, care, or concern. A friend who always makes you doubt yourself. A partner who twists reality until you can't trust your own memory. A boss who makes you feel guilty for setting boundaries. These are not random behaviors. They're psychological techniques designed to control your emotions, decisions, and even your identity. And once you're trapped inside, escape feels almost impossible. But knowledge is power. And today, I'm going to show you how manipulation really works and how you can break free from it. You see, manipulation is not always obvious. It doesn't come with a warning sign. It hides in plain sight, wrapped in everyday conversation. Think about it. Have you ever said yes when every part you want to say no? That wasn't just politeness. It might have been manipulation. A skilled manipulator knows exactly how to push your button. They understand your weaknesses better than you do. They study your reactions, your insecurities, your fears. And then they use that knowledge to bend you into their will. Sometimes it feels like love. Sometimes it feels like guilt. And sometimes it feels like nothing at all, just silence that eats away at your confidence. Manipulation isn't random. It's psychological. It's a strategy, a weapon. And the most dangerous thing about it is how invisible it can be. The world is full of manipulators, some intentional, some unintentional. A partner who wants control, a friend who wants you dependent, a leader who wants unquestioned loyalty, a parent who calls it love, but it feels like power. Even media, advertising, and politics use these same tactics. They know how to play with your emotion, fear, guilt, shame, desire. Every feeling can be turned into a tool against you. And once you fall into the trap, you might not even realize you've lost control. Because the truth is, manipulation doesn't feel like manipulation when it's happening. It feels like you're making your own choices. It feels like you're free. But behind the curtain, someone else is pulling the strings. And unless you learn to recognize the techniques, you'll keep dancing to their tune. That's why understanding manipulation isn't just important. It's survival, because the more aware you are, the harder it becomes for anyone to control your mind. The first and perhaps most dangerous technique is gaslighting. Gaslighting makes you question your own reality. It's when someone tells you that never happened, even though you know it did. Or they say, you're just imagining things when you're certain you're not. Over time, this constant denial chips away at your confidence. You begin to ask yourself, maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe I am wrong. Gaslighting is powerful because it makes you doubt the one thing you should always trust, your own mind. And once you stop trusting yourself, you start depending entirely on the manipulator. Another common technique is guilt tripping. We've all heard lines like, after everything I've done for you, this is how you treat me? This tactic is designed to load you with guilt. So you'll agree to things you don't want to do. You feel selfish if you say no. You feel like a bad friend, a bad child, or a bad partner if you don't comply. But here's the truth. Guilt is one of the easiest emotions to exploit. When someone knows you care about them, guilt becomes a leash they pull whenever they want control. Then there's the silent treatment. Silence may look harmless, but it's one of the coldest weapons in manipulation. Instead of talking things through, the manipulator shuts down completely. No words, no eye contact, just distance. The victim is left in confusion, anxiety, and desperation for resolution. You start thinking, what did I do wrong? How can I fix it? And eventually, you bend, you apologize, or you give in just to break the silence. The manipulator wins without even saying a word. Next, we have love bombing. At first, it feels like pure magic. You're showered with affection, gifts, and attention. You feel like you've met the perfect partner or the most supportive friend. But that overwhelming love isn't always genuine. It's a setup. Once you're emotionally hooked, the mask comes off. The compliments fade, the gifts stop, and what remains is control. Now you're trapped, chasing the high of the affection you once received. This is why toxic relationships often begin with intense passion. Another powerful method is fear and threats. This doesn't always look like direct aggression. Sometimes it's subtle. If you walk away, you'll regret it. Other times, it's disguised as concern. I just don't think you can make it on your own. Fear is a primal emotion. It shuts down logical thinking. When you're afraid, you stop analyzing and you start obeying. And that's exactly what manipulators want. But manipulation isn't always about fear or guilt. Sometimes it's about social proof. This technique plays on your natural desire to fit in. You'll hear things like, everyone else is doing it, why aren't you? Or, no one else had a problem with this except you. The goal is to isolate you, to make you feel like the outsider. And once you feel alone, you're more likely to give in just to belong. Another softer but equally dangerous trick is flattery and charm. Manipulators know that everyone loves to feel special. They'll shower you with compliments. You're the only one who understands me, or you're so much smarter than everyone else. It feels good, so good that you drop your guard. But what feels like praise is actually a trap. Once they've built you up with flattery, they'll start asking for favor. And because you don't want to lose that admiration, you'll say yes. What's terrifying is how these techniques often blend together. A manipulator doesn't just use one tool. They combine them like weapons in an arsenal. They might start with flattery, then shift to guilt, and finally end with silence. Each technique weakens you a little more until resistance feels impossible. By then, you're not just being influenced, you're being controlled. The truth is, manipulation is not random. It's calculated, it's precise, and it works because it targets the deepest parts of human psychology. Our need for love, belonging, approval, and safety. When those needs are threatened, we bend, we give in, and we don't even realize we've lost a battle. But the good news is this: the moment you can see these techniques for what they are, they lose their power. The first step to breaking free from manipulation is awareness. You can't fight an enemy you don't see. The moment you recognize a tactic, it begins to lose its power. So whenever someone makes you feel guilty, ashamed, or confused, pause. Ask yourself, is this my true feeling, or is it being planted in me? The second defense is learning to trust your instincts. Deep down, your body always knows when something feels wrong. That tightness in your chest, the knot in your stomach, that's your intuition speaking. But manipulators thrive when you ignore it. So instead of silencing that voice, listen carefully. Next, set firm boundaries. Boundaries are not walls. They're doors that you control. Say clearly, I will not accept being spoken to this way. Or, I need time to think before I decide. A manipulator may push against those boundaries, but the more consistent you are, the stronger they become. Another powerful shield is emotional detachment. Don't give manipulators the reaction they're fishing for. When someone uses guilt, don't rush to defend yourself. When they use silence, don't panic to fill the void. Staying calm takes away the fuel they need to keep controlling you. Educate yourself about psychological tricks. The more you learn, the more patterns you begin to recognize. What once felt confusing will suddenly feel obvious. And once you see the game, you can't unsee it. Surround yourself with people who empower you, not drain you. Supportive friends, mentors, and communities act as mirrors. They remind you of your worth when a manipulator tries to strip it away. They provide clarity when your reality feels twisted. Another defense is asking direct questions. When someone makes a vague threat or guilt trip, respond with, what exactly do you mean by that? Most manipulators crumble under direct confrontation because their power relies on subtlety and confusion. And remember, you don't owe anyone endless explanations. The more you explain, the more material a manipulator gets to twist against you. A simple no, I can't do that, is enough. Clear, calm, firm. Protecting yourself also means protecting your self-esteem. Manipulation often works best on people who doubt themselves. So invest in building your confidence through learning, through reflection, through small victories. The stronger your self-image, the harder it is for anyone to bend it. Finally, know when to walk away. Not every relationship is worth saving. Sometimes the only solution is distant. It may feel painful at first, but in the long run, your peace of mind is worth more than any connection built on control. At the end of the day, the most powerful defense is knowledge plus courage. Knowledge to recognize manipulation, and courage to say, I see what you're doing, and I refuse to play along. Manipulation hides in the smallest detail. A single word, a carefully timed silence, a smile that doesn't quite reach the eyes. It's not always about villains or monsters. It's about people. People who have learned how to use psychology like a weapon. Some do it intentionally to control. Others do it without even realizing because it gives them power. But here's the truth. Awareness changes everything. The moment you see the strings being pulled, the illusion falls apart. You realize that guilt is just a trick. That fear is just a cage. that silence is just noise in disguise. And when you see it for what it is, you're free to make your own choices, free to think your own thoughts, free to walk away when someone tries to chain your emotion. But knowledge alone is not enough. It's what you do with it that matters. The next time someone twists your words, remember what you've learned today. The next time you feel guilty for no reason, ask yourself, who benefits from this feeling? And the next time you feel pressured, remember you always have a choice, because manipulation only works when you allow it. And now you have the tools to fight back. So let me ask you, which of these techniques have you seen the most in your life? Gaslighting, guilt, silence, or maybe flattery? Share your story in the comments. I want to hear from you. And if this video opened your eyes, don't keep it to yourself. Someone you know might be trapped in the same cycle right now. Share this video with them. It could be the key that sets them free. And for more insights into psychology, the mind, and the hidden ways people influence us, hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications, and join me as we uncover more secrets of human behavior. Remember this, your mind is powerful. Don't hand the controls to anyone else.